All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone? Good morning. I'm going to wait for some folks to come on this beautiful what is this? Wednesday. It is Wednesday. It's not Tuesday. It is Wednesday. Um, yeah, it's Wednesday. It is a Wednesday morning here in Milwaukee. Yeah, I'm back home. Back home, right? Back home. So it is definitely Wednesday. So I'm gonna see who's gonna come on in here with me this morning. Yesterday morning, I got on real quick because I was in flight, leaving Arizona and coming back here. So I did get off and get ready to catch that flight because, baby, first of all, Arizona is very hot, and their airport it's not like, I guess it's big, but it's where you take the rental car to versus where you have to go to get to the flights is a nice little journey because you're like all the way separated. You have to get on a train and really travel some way. So you gotta account for that time and everything. And then once you're in there, you have to walk, to do your check-in, drop off your bag, do all of those things. And then once you're done with those things, then you go back up to go through, TSA and everything like that. But I'm a pre-check. So let me just walk on through because all that other stuff, taking off your shoes and going through that, I'm just over it. I'm over that. So I do pre-check. I have a good friend that told me to do global entry. You go through even lesser things. So that's next on my list to get me a global entry so that I don't have to go through all that, because sometimes going through the airport can be a little bit, and I get it as far as safety. Thank you. Thank you so much. But some of it is just, I first of all, taking off your shoes is so, and other people's feet didn't bend down. You don't know what people doing with their feet and fungus, and I started thinking of stuff like that. That's where my mind goes. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations with Carol. Thank you. I said with like I didn't know who I was. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So yes, I was just explaining on yesterday that I did a short segment because I was getting in flight, getting ready to get to the airport. So it was a short, probably not even 5 minutes. Hey, how y'all doing? It's early morning to get on this flight. See you guys on Wednesday. And here we are on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. Um, it is a lot going on, people. A lot. And when I say a lot, I know that it's things are going on in the world. You have world news, and then you have your local news, and then you just have life, period, right? So where you have things that are just going on a lot everywhere, right? Because in your own personal lives, you have things that's going on too. You see? So you have, again, life, you have local news, then you have world news. And then with world news, I would even encapsulate that with national news because it's everywhere. There's always something going on somewhere. And I remember being overwhelmed, and I remember going through what I was going through and just things. And it was a situation at that time. That's what we call them now, right? Just a situation right now. We got to take care of it. And I remember my mother saying, well, it always can be worse. And so I've adopted that. I've adopted that as I've grown in certain areas. I've adopted that it could always be worse. If you think about your situation and you think about what's going on in the world, you think about where things are at these days and times. One of the things my mother has always said to me is it could always be worse. And so I have adopted that. So when I look at my situation or I look at my circumstance, I always say it could always be worse. And people are going through something probably way far more overwhelming, probably way far worse, probably some decisions that they can't even change the outcome of what's going on. So I try to think of my situations like that. If you get into a circumstance situation, it's like, could it be worse? What if this was going on? What if the outcome was something that you couldn't change? What if your outcome you couldn't change it? Good morning, sister. Good morning. Thanks for joining me. So that's what I think about. So that's what I want to talk about today. Good morning, Pooh. I'm gonna be back in your area, so me and you gonna hook up. I'm gonna call you. It was a cameo this time, but I've got you, girl. I'm gonna see my Libra sister. I'm gonna see your face. Good morning. Good morning. So think about that. Have you thought about that? You know, and I was. It's always gonna be a situation. Always. It's always gonna be situations, right? So think about that. Think about, like I said, my mother has always told me it could always be worse. It can always be worse. When you think about what you're going through right now, if everybody takes a moment, close their eyes and say, what am I going through right now? What is something I want to change? What is something I want to do? And you think about it and you begin to start to complain or have some type of problem with it. Oh, she said, hell, I'm in one right now. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. When you think about it though, good morning, good morning, good morning. That's that's Mbooski there, Sister Tanisha. So when you think about it, you close your eyes and you go, what situation am I in right now that I want to change? What situation is it that I want to do something about? What is it that what is those situations? Now, think about it now, because I say my mother, who always says stuff, some wise things, that one there sticks with me. It could always be worse. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Amy. That's my Aunt Madeline. Good morning. Everybody say I act like her. My mother don't be like, oh, honey, you act like your auntie. Um, Praying up out that though, best believe me. Yeah, praying gets you up out of it. But it always could be, here's my situation. It could always, here's what I say. It could always be worse. When you think about some things that you're going through, and I know that it's a lot going on. So I was saying, it's just a lot. It's a lot going on in the world today. You got world news, national news, whichever title you want to put there. You got local news, and then you have life. Okay. And so when you think about it, is it at a point where you go, wow, like this is just, and so before I began to even, and there's nothing, let me tell you, let me say this. I have always made each situation what it is at the moment. I don't even want to see how worse it can be. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Sister Pooh said, I have always made each situation what it is at that moment. I don't even want to see how worse it can be. No, nobody wants to see how worse it can be. And I think that's how the statement was supposed to be taken. Like it can be worse. So then that right there, that response of taking it in the moment as it is, because guess what? It could be different. It could be where you don't even have a choice. It could be where you can't even make a choice or change the situation. Some situations in certain circumstances, let me say it right, those two C's, certain in circumstances, can't be changed. Some end with an unchangeable consequence, some end with an unchangeable act. It can't be changed. So when you think of it in that way, I just always say before you, I don't want to say complain. I'll say vent. And that was a conversation I had yesterday with someone. Is complaining venting? Is venting complaining? I think when you vent, is getting out and talking out a situation. That is how all my elders delivered it to me. Yep. I like it. I like it, Sister Pooh. I like it. So when you have that going on, is it? Is venting complaining? Is complaining venting? For me, no. I think complaining is being mad about something because someone didn't, or frustrated about something, mad, frustrated. So true. Yeah. Complaining is that. That's what complaining is. You're kind of upset that someone made a decision, probably not your decision that you would have made, and you want them to change it to what you would do. I feel like that's what complaining is. When you complain about something, is something that's not up to y- what you feel it should be. So that's what I feel complaining is. Yes, I do, sister. I remember. Um, and venting, venting is getting it out, working it out. Getting venting is talking out whatever circumstance or situation you're in for a solution. Okay, it's working it out for a solution. All right, that's what I believe venting is. You are talking out that situation or circumstance for a solution. But complaining, to me, the difference of the two, the delivery to me, venting is release. Yeah, venting is releasing. That's why I say it's talking out, releasing. And for me, you're looking for a solution though when you vent. I'll agree there, Sister Pooh, but I believe you're looking for a solution. Good morning, Kay. Good morning. Welcome. I believe you I believe you're looking for a solution with venting. So when it comes for complaining, I don't think you're looking for a solution. I just think you want to complain about it because it ain't to where you need it to be. Amen to that. I know that's right. That's what I think. So remember the white part. Yeah, I remember the white part. Was that complaining or was that venting? Was that complaining? I remember that, sister Charmaine, but was that complaining or was that venting? And that's the difference here. And that's what she was saying. The delivery to venting is to release. That's what Sister Pooh said. Pooh said it is delivery to me. Venting is release. So venting is release, talking it out. Complaining, I think people really want folks to make choices that they would make. And it's like, I'm not gonna do that. What to do when venting goes into a complaint? Definitely was complaining. Um, what to do when venting goes into a complaint? That's interesting. So, Sister Charmaine over here, and by the way, I'm streaming on 3 different platforms here: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Hit that link in my bio, okay? What do you do when venting goes into a complaint? Hmm. You know, I would redirect. I would redirect because here's the thing. Again, venting to me is talking it out for a solution, right? And then Sister Pooh added that venting is a release. So here's what I just thought when you said that. You are either talking and venting it out to resolve the issue or to dissolve. You're going to resolve it, make up a resolution, or you're going to dissolve it. Just get rid of it altogether. Now, if venting turns into complaint, that is just what I'm gonna say. Are we resolving anything or are we dissolving it? Because we're gonna start talking about it. Because that's what I think a complaint is repetitive. You don't move from that area. You stay there. That's what a complaint is. And if you listen to a complaint, when you listen to people who really complain, think of a situation, it's the same thing. They're not talking about nothing different because they're complaining. They're not venting. Venting is an overall look at the whole situation and going point one, point two, point three. Right? Very, very true. Yes, it is true, right? But complaining, you stay right on that one thing. And I think with complaining, people focus on certain area versus the overall. And a person that complains about something, I believe, never look at themselves. They never look at themselves and say, and it depends on the situation. It can be as small as complaining about some food that wasn't good. And you probably can't even make the dish. So I just that's why I said depending on delivery, you can feel the difference. Yeah. Yeah. So Sister Pooh said Depending on the delivery of this, you can tell the difference. So you'll know once it starts whether it's a complaint or whether it's venting. And you definitely will know the difference, and it's definitely a difference because some folks can't help themselves. I will put it that way. And some people can't. The complaining is what they do. They just want to do that. So what to do when venting goes into a complaint? I would say redirect, because here we're trying to find a resolution to a situation, a problem, okay? So if we're not going to find a resolution, then we have to dissolve it. We're going to either have to dissolve the conversation, dissolve the whole situation, somewhere in that area. That's what we're going to have to do. You can always tell a complaining spirit. They always negative. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. So Tanish said you can always tell a complaining spirit. They always negative. Yep. Some ain't never right. And you know what? Another thing about a complaining person that has that on them, and I be praying for them too. It's always them. Like somebody always after them. Always, some ways, always after. It's always somebody else after them. It's always somebody after them. Like somebody's always It's they I don't know why they chose me. It's somebody always choosing them, and it's always a negative situation or some type of circumstance they in where they never say to them. Sister Charmaine said, "Baby, yes, all the victim. Yes, the victim, honey. They the victim all day. They are the victim all day long. It was never them. It was always someone else. Never them. Never them. You are so right, Tanisha. They're always the victim. They didn't do it. Nothing. And that was another thing that my mom used to tell us when we were little. Um, what of it? What part ownership did you have? How much percentage do you take blame for? She used to say that to us, and I never understood it back then. I'd be like, this lady, this man, they came to try to fight me, especially in school. She used a lot of that in school because in school, when you're young, it was a lot of us. It's a lot of us, y'all. It was a lot of us, okay? And so, so in school, one of the things she used to say all the time is, what percentage do you own? you know. And I never understood it. She'd be like 2%, and we'd be like, it wasn't our fault. We wasn't taught to, act up, all right. We weren't taught to stand on them 10 toes down and knock on so. But if you do something, you will get it. Like we wasn't afraid to do that. But we weren't taught that. And so when, those fights occurred, at school, in our younger days, she'd be like, "What percentage of it do you own?" People who complain don't own a percentage, but she would tell us that. Like, and you'll say it to yourself, "I didn't do nothing. I didn't say nothing. They picked on me," But she would always say, "Okay, that's fine. And what percentage do you own?" She says she don't care if you own 1%. You own it. Own your 1%. Yep, I use that on my children while they were growing up. Yep, I do too. I do too. Good morning, husband. I do too. I use it too. Even when they were growing up, and even now, I say to them, "What percentage of it is you?" Now, here's the thing. Some of them want to say, nah, but yeah, I use it now even in their young adult years. What percentage of it is yours to own? Because it's always a percentage to own, and it's always a percentage to change, to do something different, to get to that 100%, right? So I wholeheartedly believe in those statements that my mom gave me, and those were what I was thinking about when I got home and was looking at the news and just looking at everything going on, and just really, really, you to children need to learn accountability from us first. Oh yes, Sister Charmaine said children need to learn accountability from us first. They do. Children do. They look at their parents. They look at their parents, but goes and that will go into a whole nother segment in the situation, in the conversation, because a lot of folks don't have anybody to look at, to be accountable for. Not all, but a lot. They don't have anybody. They don't have anybody. A lot of these a lot of these people don't have no type of role model to look up to say, hey, This is not what we should be doing. Or, hey, this is how we should walk. Hey, this is how we should talk. Hey, look, look, look. They don't have, and when you say role model, I believe parents should be the first one. But sometimes the parent ain't all the way together either. And I think that's where some situations come in. But that's a whole nother different conversation. But when it comes to complaining, you need to be held accountable for what the complaint that you're making. My grands look right at me and, well, I did do this part, Mimi. Well, I did do this part, me. Yep, I did do this part, Mimi. Right. Because even as a grandparent, right? For those who are grandparents, yeah, they're gonna look right at you. They're gonna look right at you and say, hey, here you go. And I got one that looks at everything, baby, and repeats everything. He in the repeating stage. Don't say nothing, cause honey, if you at a place and it blinks in his mind, he gonna say it, honey. He's going to say it. He's going to say it. But not only that, too, he makes corrections too. He'll say some stuff off to the side, and you be like, oh, okay, yeah, you'll say it too. So you have to know those things. So when it comes to complaining and venting, they are two different things. Complaining and venting, we've determined that today, that complaining and venting is two different things, and it depends on the delivery. Someone said it depends on the delivery. Um, how you know the two. Some said that you know a complaining spirit because they're always negative. I said that complaining is repetitive, but then we talked about venting, and venting is releasing. We talked about that. We talked about venting is uh talking it out to get to a resolution, or to solve a solution. We talked about what happens when venting turns into complaining. And I stated that, hey, when venting turns into complaining, a person first needs to really look at themselves, and you have to, hey, you got to hold yourself accountable. And then also, we're either going to vent this out to resolve, or we're going to dissolve. Okay. We're not going to keep doing repeating back and forth. We went over that today, which was good. And we talked about that, hey, um, it could always be worse. And that's how it started off. It could always be worse. It's complaining, venting. It can always be worse. So I thank you guys for joining me on this morning. I'm back home in Milwaukee. I'll be back on tomorrow, which is Thursday. Now remember, y'all, Thursday are my segments for You Thought It, I'll Say It. So if you're thinking of anything that you want me to say, I am more than willing to put it out there. We can get in different type of opinions. Even if it's something that wants to inspire someone, we can put it out there for that. A subject, a topic, whatever it is, a statement. You thought it. I'll say it. It's like a little twist on a modern day Dear Abby. All right. So tomorrow is You Thought It, I'll Say It. Thursdays, you can inbox me. If you got my number, text me. It's whatever. I ain't putting no names on nothing. It's whatever you want me to put out there. I'll look at it and clean it up and put it on out there. I want everybody to have a beautiful day. Stay safe. We are in I believe this is day 3 of the RNC. I wasn't here for the first 2, so they got it going on downtown, I heard. So I'll be looking at some of that information too and bringing that to you tomorrow. In my sarcastic way, I have asked, are you complaining or venting? Yeah, I have too, Libra sister. I have too. I'll be like, what is this? And how am I supposed to respond? Because I'm terrible. Let me just put that out there while I'm wrapping up. I'm terrible sometimes at responses because my whole face will be like, what are you talking about? So I have to remember how to respond, because you might get some of this sarcastic juice I be carrying, because I don't know what we're doing. I don't know if we're complaining or we're venting. Is this a laughable moment, or are we supposed to be serious? Yeah, that's what you get with me. So me, I in my sarcastic way, I think I do that too. But yes, yes, yes. Tomorrow is Thursday. You thought it. I'll say it. Thank you all for joining me on today. Remember, my link is in the bio. Coffee and Conversations with Kira, where we come to you every day with thought-provoking questions, engaging in inspiration, and encouragement. Hey, this is what I want to leave with you guys. This one has stuck with me since last week. I'm still on it. When you feel like quitting, remember why you started. I think we need to put that like on a mirror or on our cars or yeah, just remember when you feel like quitting, remember why you started. Okay. And here's another one. You don't need a special occasion to be inspired. You don't need a special occasion to be inspired, okay? All right? So when you feel like quitting, remember why you started, and you don't need a special occasion to be inspired. You don't, okay? Inspiration comes from within. All right. Remember, live, love, always laugh. Try to be forgiving as much as we can. Okay. It's one love out here. All right. Let's try to use it on each other. All right. I love you guys. See you all tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Thank you.